go on TFWatch.tv and watch the stream, but usually it's like, I don't know. I watch a lot of Platinums, like VODs, just to see how he plays demo, because he's fucking incredible at it.
Oh yeah,
And
Platinum's
Bounty,
really good.
yeah, I don't know, Bounty's good in a sense where you watch him and you're just like, how is this guy so good? Whereas like you watch Platinum and you're like, this guy's really fucking good. Like, I don't know, like they're both in, like, I wouldn't say that, like, I'd say like they're around the same level. Like Bounty is a little better, but like I think Platinum's like good in a different way. Like Bounty's just good because he's like just insane, whereas Platinum's just good because he's just really good at the game and mechanics. Like he doesn't pull off like incredible miracle stuff, or if he does, it's kind of like warranted. It's like, oh, you just did that.
Yeah,
You know, like it makes sense.
Whereas like Bandy is like a magician.
Yeah, it's like he would like quad air pipe an Uber or something, like an Uber soldier coming at him, and you'd be like, how did he do that? Like, how did you do that? He's insane.
Yeah.
But
well, Bandy's been
what's
streaming recently. I don't know if you watch him at all, but
yeah, I do a little bit. He mostly streams pugs though. He never streams like his scrims, I don't think.
right.
Does he?
That's secret.
Does he actually not stream his scrims because of that?
Well, also when you stream, it's taxing on your computer.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to
true.
give that up. But in Pugs, he doesn't really care. But
Okay.
sometimes in Pugs he does care, and that's when he doesn't stream. But from what I've seen from him streaming, like there's not a massive change in his performance.
Yeah, and Natapon's the same. Like he was streaming during our scrims today, and I'm like, he wanted to like stream a match, and I'm thinking like, you really want to stream a match? I don't know. I don't think Americans ever stream matches. Like, do they?
I do, but I throw it on a delay, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think it's interesting to. I think it's interesting
What
to
team
like
do you play
get
for?
mumble. I'm not playing the season actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took it. I didn't get a team in time, and then I ended up playing Guild Wars. And yeah, next season I'll be looking again. So
Fair enough. Invite or intermediate?
actually, the reason I didn't get on a team this season was because I kind of tried to go big and try and get on an invite team,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out for me. So we did like
Fair
3
enough.
days of tryouts, and then on the third day they're like, yeah, we're actually gonna go with someone else. I'm like, what the hell? And it was
Who are you trying out for?
the team was called Pinball Wizards, and
It's kind of good that you didn't try out with them now. You're like sitting back thinking,
thinking,
they
oh
dead,
man, like yeah, they're dead. The captain left, like yeah, all went to shit.
sucks for them, but seems like pretty much everyone in Invite is dead now.
Yeah, it's a damn shame.
Fucking super team just destroying the community.
That's one way of putting it, yeah.
It's dumb. Like nobody can like, I don't even know. Do people even beat mixed up in like scrims? Like,
No.
it's just crazy. Like with I am a really good, but they're not like a super team. Like
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you were a super team, you would be an invite.
exactly, exactly. Like I am. I'm probably about as good as like whatever team is in invite that isn't mix up. They probably wouldn't be able to beat LG with Clockwork, but without Clockwork, LG seem pretty like iffy because Clockwork is just fucking insane.
Yeah, he is insane.
Like playing without him looks like it's affected them a lot.
Yeah, and they couldn't find a good enough replacement.
Yeah, who did they get? I heard they were gonna get who?
It's on the top of my head. Oh, they got Hero.
Flame?
You know Hero?
Oh, they got Hero.
Hero's good, but not as good as Clockwork before.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anybody in Invite who's as good as
The thing
Clockwork
about like TF2 is interesting is that
in
like
a team.
yeah,
Sorry,
but
what?
in TF2 like if you stay together long enough, like at least more than a season, you're gonna be good, you know. But like
Yeah.
there's this pressure to like be winning or something.
Yeah.
So if you're not
Yeah.
winning, like the team feels this pressure to disband.
Yeah, that's actually like that's so true. Like that's like the team that I'm in at the moment. Like, cause like everybody who's in my current team, except like I'm trying to think. everybody in my team right now except me in a sense, and I think I'm the only one who's ever played in Div 1 in Australia. Everybody else on my team has been in like, you know, Div 2, Div 3, and then we kind of formed this team. It's kind of like everybody from Div 2, 3 teams who is like, you know how, I don't know if you guys get that in America, but generally in the lower divisions, a lot of teams who are really good have one player in that team who's like outstandingly good, and like they're just like, you know, you just like expect them to go big every single game because they're so much better than everybody they're playing against and everybody they're playing with. They're really outstanding, and so like that's kind of like Spaceman, who's our demo man. Like we kind of got him from Div 3, but he was just like, when he was in Div 3, he was just so clearly better than all the other demo men there. And Smoglet won Div 2 last season. He carried his team in Div 2, and
so you just picked up all the carries and threw them on one team.
Sort of, yeah. Except I was in Frey last season, which
you were in what?
Got Frey, Frenetic Array.
Okay.
Who we got second in Super C3 Div 1 last season, and we got second in ATF2 Invite. I didn't play for them for a while, but I got benched, so I left.
Are there a lot of leagues in Australia? Like, do they use, or is there one big league that everyone just kind of does?
ATF2 is relatively new, and it's nowhere near as big as AsiaFortress.
Right.
It's kind of like, ATF2 is kind of like pretty new thing. It's not as big. They've got like some sponsors and they've got prize money. AsiaFortress has that now, but ATF2's, it's kind of like somebody, I don't know, it's really difficult to explain, but ATF2 is kind of like a new thing that
is it competitive or is it not really?
Most of ATF2 really seems to me like most of the top teams in Australia play on ATF2, and then that's about it.
Okay.
Like they've got an open, and
but only because it's prize money, basically.
Yeah, really, that's kind of it. Like just because of the prize money, really. Like
and because because all the best teams are playing there, like no one really wants to play there and compete against them. So that's why they're in
sort of. No, because there's an open league as well. But the main reason that most people then sign up is because the guy who runs it is kind of what's the word? Very controversial sort of guy. He's banned from AsiaFortress. That's why he made, like when he got banned from AsiaFortress, he made
like permanently banned.
Yeah, he got permanently banned from AsiaFortress,
and
so he made a new league. Because there are a bunch of top players in Australia who got banned from AsiaFortress who weren't able to play, and it
what
was
did they
like,
get banned for? Being
dicks. Like shit-talking players and being dicks to the admins and stuff like that. And that was before now, because back then competition bans used to affect like the actual, I mean forum bans would affect the actual comp, whereas like now AsiaFortress put in a rule, yeah. So like Rep was banned from AsiaFortress.
Oh, okay.
Yukari was banned from AsiaFortress. The guy who runs ATF2 is a really good player as well. His name's Eco. He got banned from AsiaFortress, and so like they kind of just made their own thing.
Can't they just reverse that, or is it?
It's reversed now. Yeah, they're all unbanned now. Rep isn't.
But they don't care anymore.
No.
Oh, they play both now.
Venom, Eco, aka Venom. He was in a Premier team, but he only left it recently. And Yuri, which is Termo, is in Frey. He plays Demo.
Got it.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
How do you think the scene compares to like North American DF2? I mean, everyone knows the skill cap just got raised, but
yeah, nobody in Australia compares to Mix-Up. Like no team in Australia would ever compare to Mix-Up.
Right.
No team in the world compares to Mix-Up. Yeah. LG and Space Whales, LG without Clockwork and Space Whales, they're relatively even, yeah? I'm pretty sure they'd be even at the moment. Pretty much those two teams will probably be around the level of like IM, Frey and SQL.
Got it.
IM, Frey and SQL are kind of on top of the Australian scene right now.
Well, IM is ahead by a lot too.
Yeah, by competition, but like not really in terms of results. Like IM don't play very much. That's why, like, because they only scrim like a couple of times a week.
And they're still the top team.
Yeah. Just because they're that much better than everybody, but you know, in the first hour round, Frey tied with them. And that's because Frey play every night. I am can easily win Al. They've been together for
Like the chemistry's really good and everything?
2 years, yeah. They've been together for 2 years straight. Like they've been together for 7 L seasons in a row. 8
Wow.
now, this is their 8th L season. I think it's 7th or 8th, but they've been together for ages. Every L they've entered, they've won, I'm pretty sure. They won L2, CBC 1, L3.
Powerdose, I don't think he
No,
has.
they didn't. No. L4 they won, AsiaFortress Cup 2, AsiaFortress League 5, AsiaFortress Winter League 5, CBC 2, L6, L7, and Alienware, as well as TF2 invite. So they are on top by a lot, but like it's not like they're unbeatable like Mix-Up. Mix-Up is unbeatable because they're a super team.
Yeah. They're the Lakers of TF2.
I don't follow basketball anymore. Are the Lakers on top or something?
No, they just picked a bunch of players that are just ridiculously good.
Like who? Do they still have Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, of course.
Ah, okay. Who
But
have they got?
they just picked up like all these top players, Steve Nash. Like they just basically picked up like a ton of really great players.
Holy shit.
They did let you know the Heat. How they picked up.
I thought there was like stuff in basketball like payrolls that prevents that, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like
there are, but I don't know how they got around it, but they did. And yeah.
wow. That's insane. Is
Yeah,
Shaq
it makes-
still on it?
No. Shaq is
I thought he was on it
retired
for
now.
season 3. Really?
I think so.
Wow, I haven't followed it in ages, so I've got no clue.
I'm pretty sure Shaq
Hey, well-
retired. He played for like a bunch of different teams, but he hasn't really had the same success that he had on the Lakers. Like when they put his name in the Hall of Fame, he's gonna have a Laker jersey.
Okay. I thought wasn't he good on like the Heat as well?
Yeah, I mean he's okay. I mean he's still decent because he's just huge, but
What are you gonna say that makes sense?
Mixer is just too good. Like even without banning,
Yeah. Well, they've got Platinum. Platinum's just
it's
insane.
just as yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And LG's kind of in. I mean, they're still better than third place team, Space Whales, but they're not half the team that they were before. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think without a like maybe when they train up like a core scout again or something, it's just so hard because like it seems like they had a really good thing going like
Yeah.
with the like as far as I know.
Well, you know what happened is that they wanted to try and cut Tyrone actually.
Yeah, I heard they were still doing that actually.
That's interesting. But
I'm pretty sure they're kicking it. No, he's leaving, isn't he? He's retiring at the end of the season. They're replacing him with Lang.
is he? Ooh, I didn't hear that.
That's what I heard from my well-placed American sources.
Whoa, I didn't hear that. That's nuts.
Yeah. I forget where I heard that, but I heard it
That's
somewhere.
actually, I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen Lang
That's
play.
actually
I'm not
insane.
really that. I only recently sort of got involved with the American scene a lot, but I haven't seen Lang play much. I've played a lot of American like pugs, like on Pug NA, and he's been okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Tyrone's one of those players that's just like, he's never been like the best, but like because he's been in the game so long that he's just good, you know? And like, it's the same, it's like, that's what I was saying before, like teams that stay together do well, like LG has been together forever. Like Banny and Tyrone at least have been together forever, so it just works out nicely that way.
As like as EMG and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like when they're first getting an invite, they weren't that good. And yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Like
kinda-
that's a shame. Like all these teams keep breaking up because if they just stay together
Yeah.
one more season, they'd probably be land capable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like SQL and IM are really the only teams that have been together for ages now, and they're the two top teams.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But like that's because they're winning, so that's why they stay together, right? And then
Yeah.
the other teams kind of break up because they're not winning.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense actually.
It just sucks that way because this, like in every division, it always works that way. Even in European TF2, there's like 2 teams. It's like a 2-team
Yeah.
division, and then the rest of it's like the rest, whatever.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's one team like that in Australia called VR that have been together for ages. And they're still like mid to low div 1, but
Mhm.
that's because they always change their roster. Like, they don't care either. Like, they're not focused on improving, I don't think. I think they're more just focused on being laid back and playing some TF2, which is similar to Space Whales as far as I know, right? I don't think Space Whales are really that focused on improving to be #1 as opposed to, like, you know, kicking back and playing some fun TF2 and having fun together and stuff. Which makes sense, I guess.
The people that you see that are most active in TF2, I feel like, are the people in those pugs you see at night. Like, they're not all the best players in the game, but like they're the players that play the most, because you scrim and then you go play even more TF2, you know? And it's fun because you get to play with the top players in the game. Like, not all of them, but you know, some, like, Banny's in there, so it's just fun.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, there aren't really that many pug after scrims in Australia. Like, I really, really wish the pug scene in Australia was as good as it is in America, because people, like, I don't know, if you try to win in a pug, people laugh at you in Australia because they're like, ah, try hard, you know, fucking you're trying to win in a pug, pugs are for fun, you know, it's kind of like, I guess, but then, like, you know, in America you've got like invite pugs where people actually get on Mumble and they like communicate, whereas in pugs in Australia, even the top pugs in Australia, nobody ever gets on Mumble, and pretty much everybody just fucks around. Like, they'll get like the market gardener out, and, you know, they'll just mess around and off class and shit like that, and then, like, you know, people who use voice chat in game and try to take it seriously, you know, they're like, yeah, you fucking, you know, try hard, yeah.
But see, I never understood that, because, like,
so
the whole reason you play comp is to get away from all that shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to see it in a pug, because...
Yeah, it's fucking, it's dumb, I don't know, you've just got to kind of live with it.
They didn't really have invite pugs back in the day. They used to have just the pug system. But then they had invite pugs because people wanted to take the game seriously in pugs.
Yeah,
so
I've thought about
you could start your own.
Yeah, I've thought about it. But I don't know. I don't really have.
You only need 12 people who are interested. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I know, but I don't really. Because I only started playing like last year.
Oh, I see.
And it's my first FPS. Like, I don't know. I don't really have. Not many people really know me that well. Whereas with Banny, it's kind of like everybody knows who Banny is. He runs invite pugs. He's a really good player. So everybody kind of flocks to him. Yeah. Whereas, like.
Well, you could just get someone who's the Banny. You know what I mean? Or whoever you guys have. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I guess.
You can get Yuki to do it.
Like Termo. No.
Yeah.
Yuki would never do that. But probably Termo.
I just say Yuki because he plays a lot of TF2. I mean, he plays not only his own league, but he goes and plays in the US.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah. It's true. But, I don't think he plays that many pugs. I mean, most people from IM don't play at all, as far as I know. Like, nope, not really. Like, I think I see Sheep in pub now and then, and very rarely he'll play pugs. Same with Yuki. The rest of them just pretty much don't play at all. Literally, like, yeah,
they were
always
saying
play Dota, I'm pretty sure.
That like all the scenes had that problem, except for North America, because there was no LAN.
Yeah, I guess that's part of it.
Like, a couple seasons ago, we had a decision as a community. We could have either left. Are you familiar with MGE?
Yep.
Okay, so we could have so we could have left ESEA as a community and then made a MGE league, which would have essentially been the same thing as ETF2L, AsiaFortress, or Oz. Or we stay with ESEA, and then Enigma made the executive decision that we should stay with ESEA because there's LAN. And that basically saved our community.
So, why did you guys want to switch to MG in the first place? Like, to me, ESEA seems amazing. Like, you guys have, like, you have to pay for it, yeah, but you've got, like, full-time programmers who work on, like, you know, plugins for the damage, like, you know, the damage stuff, the stats, and then...
We already have all that, though. Like, you have TF2 logs. Do you use that?
Yeah, no, yeah, we do, but they're really bad, dude. Have you seen them?
They're no different.
No, they are. They're heaps different, dude. Like, like, I don't know anything about this, but I know people who do. Like, I was talking to Seeker about this last night. He's one of those people who knows stuff about computer, and he works in IT. Anyway, he was, like, talking about, you know, pretty much, in general, that he does not know any, like, logs, like, or passes that actually give proper information other than ESEA. And the reason that ESEA isn't everywhere is because they just won't give out their stuff. They just won't give out the work their programmers do, and that makes sense, I guess, because they're paying them, right? It's kind of like it's our thing. Where
But
you
ESEA doesn't
programmed
give
it.
any good stats. Like all the stats that ESEA gives are the same ones that Logs give, but Logs gives even more.
No, I'm pretty sure. No,
ESEA
the
only has
stats-
damage stats and like half, like
Yeah,
damage
but-
at the half, and that's about it.
Yeah, but the damage stats that they give are accurate, whereas TF2 log 1 aren't, if that makes sense.
Oh,
Like, so if you look at like TF2 logs, actually, I can give you one, like, I still have the link, but like, I remember we wanted to get the stats from our thing the other night, and it said in a 30-minute half that I got 7 frags, and that like everybody had like, you know, 7 and 8 and 9 frags, and like 2 deaths, and you know, we did like 900, not 900, we did like, you know, 2,000 damage and stuff. And it was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, this didn't happen in 30 minutes. And it said the score was like completely different to what it usually is. And I was like, why are these stats like this? And he's like, no, it's just how it is. Like, and I was like, so why is the ESEA different? He's like, because they pay programmers to program the stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Either way, like, I guess the reason you guys would have headed away from ESEA is because of the
it was a
cost.
pay-to-play league, and like we felt like the benefits we were getting were not worth the money. And
How much
we were not happy with the service either. Well, okay, so it's $7 per month. So a 3-month season, right? So 21 there. Plus league fee, which is like 12. So you're looking at like $30-40 for a season. So like it's not cheap, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's pretty expensive.
And they say they give us all this stuff like hug servers and stuff, but everyone uses their own servers anyways. So
Yeah.
but all the money ends up going to pay for LAN, which is that keeps the game competitive.
Yeah, but the worst thing about LAN is that how do you guys get the money together for it? Do you guys just like...
It's community pooled, so XTV just calls a fundraiser. That's how we got I-46.
Yeah, I know that's how you got I-46, but yeah, no,
it's crazy when
just
people
sucks.
donate money. So
yeah, I know that's really cool that people actually donate money.
yeah.
But
because we have no
it's just-
sponsors or anything.
yeah, pretty sure like, is it the same over there? Because over here in CS and like COD, sponsors pay for like plane trips and accommodation for LANs, whereas in like TF2, sponsors don't give a fuck. Like there's teams that are sponsored, but they don't give them shit. Like, is it the same over there?
It's the same
like,
because there's not enough viewers, right? I mean, you're gonna get way more viewers for your money in League of Legends or StarCraft, and then and plus teams fall apart all the time, which is not helpful. And then I mean, the longest sponsor we've ever had was Complexity and Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, what were they like? Were they good or?
They were decent sponsors, actually paying for LAN and stuff.
Okay.
But then they didn't see the payout, so they just left. Same with Pandemic. Well, Pandemic closed. Then we had Check 6 at one point. We had some decent sponsors come in and out, but they always came out because there's no money. Like they're not seeing any returns on it.
Yeah, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
You didn't
And
see any returns.
what's interesting
yeah,
though
TF2.
is like the scene is actually growing for North America, at least for sixes.
Yeah, no, it's growing here too, dude. Like, in our, I think it was like our 1 and 2 and 3, maybe. I'm not sure about 3. In our 1 and 2, there were 2 divisions, I think. No, actually, I think it was earlier than that. But it went from 2 divisions to 4 divisions, and now it's 6 divisions. Like, it went to 6 divisions last season. Yeah,
That's
it's really getting big. And like last season, it had 6 divisions, but like each division had 8 teams except for Div 6, which had 6 teams, and this season each division has 8 teams, but Div 6 has 10. So I guess 4 new teams is still improvement. But
That's really great, actually.
yeah, we've actually for the first time ever got prize money for Div 1, which is Premier now. Like,
For us, we had the most teams we ever had sign up for ESEA this season, which was really good.
really?
We still have the same number of divisions, so.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure Intermediate and Open are really, really big, aren't they?
Intermediate stays the same size, but Open like got bigger.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
But now, who knows what's gonna happen next season with teams moving around? We'll see.
Yeah. Usually on AsiaFortress, like it's usually like Div 1, 2, and 3. No, actually I wouldn't say that. But generally Div 1, 2, and 3, maybe 4, end up with the same players, just in different teams, or sometimes the same teams. Whereas like Div 5 and 6 generally just like people come in and try it and then they'll hate it and then they'll leave, or they'll just move up to like Div 4 and join a new team with some established players or something like that. Or their whole team will move up, I don't know. Maybe have a look now at the divisions and standing for this season. TF2 open. Yeah, that's fucking massive actually.
For North American Highlander, that's like the biggest. They have like 500 teams or something. Like something insane. Like
That's insane.
why are there so many Highlander teams? It's insane.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. But at least some of them will come over to 6s eventually. But it's crazy.
When they realise that Highlander's dumb. Maybe that was rude. Highlander isn't dumb, I guess it's just kind of fun. Maybe sometime, one time they'll be like, hey, this isn't really competitive. There's not much thinking involved in this. But wow, you know, there's a lot of teams here. It's like, what, 8 in invite, or is it 6? No, it's 8.
Yeah.
8 plus 21 plus 39, which should be 68, which is really good.
We had like 80 actually at one point, but a lot of teams get pronounced dead. Cause,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now Australia has in our 52, which is pretty good, and they're all still alive.
That is great actually.
Yeah, it's really good. StarCraft 2 open. Jeez. These would all be one person.
Yeah.
A bit intermediate. How's my boy Mason going?
Yeah, for North America we always talk about like what would make the community bigger. But like
Yeah.
I've been playing this game for a while, so I kinda realized that it's not gonna get bigger. I mean it'll get like slightly bigger, but it's like generally the same size.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess gaming in general is getting bigger on the computer, but like, it's just, it seems like TF2 is one of those games where nobody's ever going to treat it seriously. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Not in competitive stuff anyway. Like unless they make Team Fortress competitive or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would make sense if they did, like, make a new game, but if Valve were going to make a new game for Team Fortress, it would be a hat game.
Right. Have you played any of those other games though? Like League or StarCraft or whatever?
No.
Oh.
Sadly.
You said it was your first
Play
FPS, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I haven't played. I play a bit of Dota. I only started it recently. I like play it now and then, but that's really it. Pretty much. What about you?
I try a little bit here and there, but yeah, same thing. Something about TF2, it sucks that I like this game more than the other ones.
Yeah.
Joking,
Yeah.
of course.
TF. Wait, did you say it sucks that I like this game more than the other ones?
Yeah. Just because the other games are have bigger competitive scenes.
Yeah, actually, I kind of sort of agree with that. TF2 is just really good though, 'cause it's simple
so
and yet
good.
complex.
I know.
Like, when you just look at it without knowing much about it, you're like, this is just dudes shooting other dudes and capping points, and then you get further into it and you're like, okay, so there's like a meta game and there's advantages and, you know, there's all that stuff, so.
They do the same thing for Highlander though, actually, because when I didn't play the season, I took a little break and did some Platinum Highlander. And they do the same thing. It's actually got some strategy to it, but like you generally don't have as big an effect just because there's 6 people on the field, so.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And you've got fucking permanent spies and stuff. There's no off-classing, it's always the same stuff.
Exactly.
It's a shame.
And like even when you get picks, you can't push on them anyways, so. Like they'll go 3 down, you can't, like, it's all about whether or not you're heavy in demo and medic are alive, that's it. Unless it's payload, then MG2, and that's about it.
Wow Wow Kapowwah are on top.
Oh, yeah.
Intermediate.
That team is pretty dominant too.
Yeah, it looks like they are. With this roster, like Rando, Power. Didn't they have somebody else really good? Pretty sure they have Ooze, don't they?
Not sure.
No, sorry. They don't. I thought they had a really,
Hey,
really
I have
strong...
Kapoww from Wow Wow Kapowwah on live stream right now. Kapoww, tell us about intermediate right now. Kapoww, you wanna hop in? You mind if I invite him?
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Kapoww, I don't have you on friends though.
Just, oh god, that's gonna be difficult.
That is difficult. I wanna send him a Twitch TV message.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put your mumble info in the stream and hope that it goes well.
Actually, I should have a look at your stream.
There's not that many watching. Don't worry.
By the way, when you asked me if I knew about MG, have you looked at the name of this mumble?
Yeah, I didn't really look. MG Heroes.
I'm sure you guys have that in America.
Not really.
MG heroes. Really? You don't have people in MG who were just good at MG and they focus their
I mean,
all
they
their
do.
power on being good at it.
We don't call them MG Heroes though.
Ah, okay. No, that's kind of it's a very common thing. I must say, like the New Zealanders. What's up, Kapoww?
Well, is it because it's just that way? It's like a different game almost, right?
Like in Australia.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh no, MG then sixes.
Yeah, no. It's I consider myself guilty of playing way much more MG than I should have ever. But I digress.
What's up, Kapoww?
Hey man.
What's good? How's intermediate?
It's a lot easier than it was last season.
No doubt. Powell's not playing.
Yeah, and he played for us this season.
Yeah, what's up with that?
So
After the whole invite
Oof.
fallout.
yeah. So Powell couldn't go to LAN, and then he asked me if he could like join our roster to back up or whatever. And
Right.
so I can't really turn that down.
Right.
If
Right.
Powell wants to join our roster, I was like sure. But then what happened was Uv had finals or something that he'd want to study for.
Uh-huh.
So we were cool with that because we had power to play. And then what happened was we decided that since we do have power, he doesn't really want to play anymore. And
Oh.
he'd rather just focus on school.
That sounds
Yeah, because
mildly convenient.
I think he's in his like last year before med school, so it's like
Right.
really important for him right now.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
You know, actually, Powell, he actually confessed on stream last night, on Banny's stream, that if he couldn't make LAN, he made a deal with Killing that he'd be banned for next season. Did you know that?
I have no idea.
Because Killing was hesitant to put Powell into Invite, because, you know, the whole Brazilian LAN
Yeah.
dodger bullshit. And so Powell was like, you know what, Killing, I actually do want to make LAN. And if I don't go to LAN, I will. If I LAN, like if we make LAN and I don't go, you can ban me.
Like he told us that if we go invite next season, he's not sure he can play with us because if he can't make it, he's not going to take the chance again.
Right. Which, it's tough because Powell has such a large influence on whatever team he's on.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Still blows my mind that like they allow like people from outside North America to play in North American League, but I can kind of understand it.
I don't like how they're like players who bash on this just because it's power. Like he's a good player, but it's not just because it's power that it's like
Yeah, you guys are winning before
that we're
Powell.
winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Right.
Like Mile High and all the Vector, like we played against them with power, and they were like are stuck on that idea that they just win because, or we just won because of the power.
Yeah, but that's just Vector gaming. Yeah, I mean, if you were losing, you probably not saying you, but like people would be inclined to do the same thing. Just because like you don't want to admit defeat, or you know.
Yeah. You gotta change.
Yeah. What do you think's gonna happen like with the whole next season invite thing with like 3 teams die? Are they gonna
I think
move up
honestly,
a bunch of teams or?
there's like no difference every season. There's like the same players that just reform teams every season.
Right.
So I think,
The invite circle jerk.
yeah, I think their pinball was just gonna come back. I think whoever else died will come back.
Going
don't
going
think chess
heavy
clubs are
and
dead.
yeah, chess club will stay around.
And then there's still NNN who's, are they in 4th right now?
Oh, the Mighty Ducks died. That's what happened.
Yeah, Ducks are dead.
Are going heavy still around?
Is it?
I'm gonna check it.
I mean, they're still technically around, but aren't they kind of basically dead?
Oh yeah, Sweater left or something.
Yeah, yeah, and then they couldn't, and Kermit too, and like they couldn't find anyone to like finish up the last 3 matches of the season.
Yeah. That's a shame. A lot of people wanted to see Tony Swan at Link.
I want to see Tony Swan at LAN.
Is Tony Swan like really good or like I don't know anything? I've just heard that name a lot.
He
Tony
is
Swan.
pretty good.
He's very good for not playing that much TF2.
Yeah.
One of those types.
Yeah,
I know a few of them.
and like, he's so good, but he doesn't want to keep playing, but now he does want to keep playing or something.
I have no idea. I just know. I think Squid and Shrug are gonna play again together next season and maybe reform Pinball Wizard. I know Chess Club will probably stick together, and if they make LAN, they definitely will. But then you have like the 2-3 teams that want to move up from LAN.
Does the number 1 team in IM always like
Yeah.
move up to
Yes.
invite?
You're
Like,
guaranteed
no
a
matter
spot.
what?
If you win.
Yeah.
And then the second's usually above. The only reason that my team didn't make it last season was because we died.
Right.
Uh,
But you should have, honestly.
We should have.
Like, that was silly.
As messaged me like yesterday and was like, "Do you want to play CS:GO next season?" And I was like, "As I'm so close to a TF2 invite, you can't take this away."
Would you want to play CSGO though if you were in an invite? And you're basically over, you know what I mean? Like, at what point are you in TF2?
I mean, there's like this point where if mix-up sticks together, you're not gonna win like at all.
Well, you're not gonna. Well, no one's gonna win, but
Right.
it's still fun, right?
Well, because like the problem I'm having is because I'm Canadian, then land costs a lot. So it's like a question of is it even worth going? Like, sure, it's worth going for the experience, but I might go down like $400 if I don't get someone to pay or
Or,
help
like-
me cover the cost.
That's what happened to HRG, and they still won.
Yeah.
And then they broke it right after, of course, because that's what you do when you lose.
yeah, didn't they get like thrashed at LAN?
Yeah. But they were like the underdogs. Everyone wanted them to win.
But I think because like I was originally gonna play Source, I think, until I figured out it was a shit game. Like, because I came from 1.6, and then I came to this game instead. So I haven't played that much CS:GO yet. So we'll see after we play an open, I guess. I don't know if they want to do just like a pub group where we just like play our matches and that's it, or if they want to actually like scrim it.
I mean,
we'll see.
the nice part about new communities is you can get good easily, just because there's not that gap.
Yeah.
It's
although-
not like a game sense gap. That's,
There is a DM gap, I guess, if you played CS before.
I don't know, like, because what the team's looking like right now is me as Anonymous, Thorn,
Yes.
and MGib.
Mouse quit TF2, and I was really sad. And then I thought he quit competitive gaming, but if he plays CS:GO, that'd be really fun.
I see him on like every team.
What do you mean?
He's like either ringing for every team or he's like
Oh.
bouncing around to play for like a match.
That's funny. I mean, it's hard to leave TF2. It's just a different game. Like, you'll go try and play a different game, but then you'll always come back.
It's never the same.
But don't you think it's weird that like all these, I don't know about you, but like, because I didn't play this season, so I didn't really get to play against the team myself. But the high open teams from last season are like at least mid IM this season. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's because there were IM teams in open last season, or if that like IM is just seriously deteriorated.
IM's just really been. This season it's kind of sloppy because right now it's like us and Zen City fighting for first.
Right.
And then everyone else is kind of like fighting together for the other spot.
Right, but it was like that last season too, wasn't it?
Right, but then you have the lower half of IM, which is just like dead.
Which is the same as last season, I guess.
I'm not sure how many teams died last season, but I think it was left. Or did we just start off with less teams? I think that's what it was.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we started off with 16 teams last season. I think we started off this season with 21.
Oh,
And
okay, that's not bad.
I'm sure like the same amount of teams died. But you have a lot of weird like open teams that are like I wouldn't even call them high open. Like they wouldn't be able to win open. And I am.
Yeah, because they got moved up because they were like 16th place in open last season.
Like yeah, 16th in the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah, and they won like one game, and that's what you needed to make IM. It's like make playoffs and win one game, and you qualify for intermediate.
I think that's really dumb. But I mean, there's not enough teams to make like quality division, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have the same problem in EPS and or EPS and AsiaFortress?
You mean like, what problem?
You know, or like lower divisions, like, well, I don't know, because like, I guess you have a lot of divisions over there, because you have a lot of teams.
Yeah, that's the good thing.
Like for us, we only have 3 divisions, and then...
Yeah, exactly. So like, with you guys, there's like 3 things that you can win, and you have like more teams than us, and yet there's only like, you have such a small chance of winning. Whereas in Australia, if you win your division, it's kind of like, you know, you get like a trophy on the forums, and you know, people are like, oh, you know, it's like, yeah, we won, that's really cool, hey, you know, so we can move up. Whereas like, you know, even getting like 2nd place, even if it's in like intermediate, getting 2nd place, you still didn't win. Like, I don't know, I think it's better to have a lot of divisions, just because what.
Maybe they should do that in North America too, because teams that lose get discouraged. So if there's more winning, but the problem with more winning in ESEA is there's more prizes then.
I think we have room to make like a sub-open division where it's like the really new pub communities that want to come in. Kind of like UGC, but like in ESEA, I guess.
Would that be free to play or no?
That's what I'm wondering. Like,
because
it really comes down to the players that want to play. Because most of them would be like the pubber communities that want to like throw in a team, right?
Right.
And those, like, a lot of them get discouraged because either they get smashed by like players that actually play TF2 like competitively for a while, or they just like find out they don't know how the game works when they're like
right. Well, that's the thing though, right? Like, we can't really have a main division because that wouldn't really work.
I would just do it like under
like sub-open, yeah.
Yeah, maybe free, I guess. Like, cause last season we had, I think, 60 teams in open, and a lot of them went like really bad. I'm gonna check right now. Alright, so you had 59 teams in open, and you could at least put like 20 of them that went like kinda negative into the sub-open division or something.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be fair to put money on it though. It's like the same thing how people play in IM, because like you're sure you can win IM compared to like a probability of invite. Like I was talking to someone else about this before, where like it's like, would you rather play an invite or get a guaranteed check every like 3 months from it? Or
Wait, do you get money for getting 2nd in IM or?
yeah, so you got I think it's 4 places.
Yeah, 4 places deep. So
Is
I mean,
open 4? I heard there was some league that does 6 or something. Is that
no,
open?
no, open does 4.
Sure. Okay.
Open does 4 as well. And the 4th place basically just covers your costs.
Yeah, it's like they're in 4th with the same amount of money, I think, and it's like they pay you back for the premium that you pay.
Oh.
What's first in invite then?
I think they won 4,800 or something.
What?
Actually,
You serious?
I think.
first place in open gets more than like third place
Oh,
in
an
intermediate.
open? Sorry, I thought you meant.
I don't know what you're
invite.
talking about, but I know first place in open gets like $700 something, and like third place in intermediate gets like
It's
600
like
or something.
120 or something.
I don't know, but like you get more money for winning open.
It's really low.
The whole thing is silly.
Yeah, so
Wait,
you get
what's
4,800 for winning invite.
Invite,
Holy
I
shit,
think.
that's really
Something
good.
like that.
That's
Well, yeah, but
insane,
that just covers your cost of flying there and stuff.
That's true, yeah.
So like so basically when they raise money for LAN, everyone builds in the fourth place prize money into their cost. You know what I mean? So you don't have to raise as much money.
yeah.
They give it. I hear there it's like prepaid. Like they give you your money before you get there
Yeah.
to help you cover the costs or
Right.
something.
Well, that makes sense.
What makes it so sad is that like Open CS makes like more money than I am TF2.
I know. But like no one plays TF2 for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be ludicrous to play TF2 for the money.
Kind of like
I think,
that
like-
added thing. It's like cool that you win money.
I think
Yeah.
that's why so many players have like problems with like the whole TGC banning.
What the whole what?
I think if like how Bandy puts in 1,000,000 hours in this game
Right?
and like he wants to win and I like really respect that. But like I think if it was a real esport, like if he could make money like StarCraft or something, he'd be like I'd respect him so much more for putting in the time. Because right now it's like there's not really much to do. And
Yeah,
if
he
you're
just
not
plays
playing
'cause
it
he
for
loves the
fun, you're just like wasting your time.
Alright. He just plays because he loves the game though.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, just playing to love, like, yeah, that's cool. Like, just playing because you love the game. Like, does he, like, have a job, or does he
I have
just
no
play
idea what he
I think he's a
does.
student.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
There's no way you have the time to put in that many hours if you're not.
Pub's a lot, man. That's a good time.
Yeah. That's the thing though, you can put in that many hours in the game and still have fun with it. It's kind of insane when you think about it. Right? Like, how many times has he done that rollout, but he still finds to be enjoy it? I don't know, that happens to me too, like, I still have fun with it, and I'm left clicking and right clicking right now as a demo man.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like TF2 so much better than all the other games that are out right now. It's too fun. It has a lot of depth to it. I think people misread it. A lot of people. It's just like, yeah, kids game. TF2 graphics. Cartoon. It's like, yeah.
Well, League of
No.
Legends is kind of that way too, but
Yeah, I guess. But League of Legends already has the Dota community that can rely on its legitimacy as, you know, a true competitive game. Like, it's nothing like Dota, that's true, but it's got a very similar setup, like the
It's
whole
just
MOBA
like
thing.
the problem is that our competitive format is so much different from like
right, the public.
just normal public.
Yeah. Mhm, yep. I agree. I think that's kind of like, that's kind of a big thing in that, like,
You're relearning the whole game.
yeah, as well as like the fact that you have to make all these changes to the game just to make it viable in competitive play. Like with like CS, Dota, no like massive restrictions that they make. They're just like,
Right.
you know, here's your map, get 5 players and you can play and you're fine. Like whereas the TF2 it's like, okay, we need 6 players, you need to play these classes
We
and you
didn't
can
ban
only
the-
play this
we
type
didn't
of map.
ban the-
Yeah, they have the
We need to stop you from
config.
doing
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah. Whereas like, wasn't really. I don't think they designed TF2 to be viable for 6v6. It's kind of like people who, you know,
Enjoyed the game, forced it to be that way.
yeah, they were just like, this is probably the best way to play TF2, and then you know, it's kind of just evolved from that. Whereas with CS, it's kind of clear what it's meant to do, and it's also
think-
with CS and Dota, there is no difference between pub and comp really. It's all exactly the same thing.
Right. Well, that's why it's TF2's way it is right now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna
I think,
eventually
like-
they're gonna eventually come out the TF3 though, because it's so profitable.
TF3.
I reckon it'll be ages. This is making so much.
It's gonna be when they stop making money from ads. They'll like start working on it. Because right now it's like, they're just milking it.
Yeah, they're still making so much money from it, they shouldn't, like, quit, really.
I don't understand why, like, they don't want to fund any TF2 events, even though it's like all your money you're getting is from TF2. Like, the Dota 2 International was pretty much funded by TF2.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of it was from TF2 hats and the rings people buy and stuff like that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
It is currently 8:30 in the morning, Pacific time.
Pacific time. You're on the other side of the rim.
On the pond, yes.
Is that HD 595 you're wearing?
555.
555. I'm wearing the same.
Really?
You're using that mic mod, right? The thing
Did you do the 595 mod?
yeah, the one where you take off the foam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like the first thing I did when I bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. Easy mod too. So.
It was easy. I was afraid of breaking it then when I did it, but then I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, it's easy, man. It was like the first thing I thought, maybe the plastic is a bit flimsy. I might crack it or something. But it didn't happen. So.
And I don't know how long you've had yours, but like mine are like really nice and burned in well and sounds good.
Mine are burned in, but they're a bit like ragged up, a bit roughed up. They're collecting dust right here.
What did you do to them?
Nothing much. I mean, I live by a road, so it's naturally a bit dusty here in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I get that too. How annoying is that?
Yeah, so, I mean, you know when cars drive by, like, they kick up a lot of dust and the wind carries it up here.
I'll be right back in
I
the
live like right next to the highway. That annoys the shit out of me because I get really dusty stuff here and I always have to dust everything like every day.
Hey, still can't beat me. I live next to a police and fire station.
Was it you in the background?
Yeah, it was me. The sirens, right? Yeah. I'm on the other stream right now, right?
That guy wants a ton. He wants a high five.
You should play some Dota. Do you guys play Dota? Kapoww, do you play Dota?
I played it.
I play Dota, we got 4 right here.
Yeah,
we
got
can
4.
stream. We're on double stream night.
Yeah,
Line is
double
streaming,
stream,
I'm streaming too. So we can play. Play from 2 POVs.
Teach all the noobs out there how to play Dota.
No, I'm a noob. I'm horrible.
To be fair, I'm not that good
Back.
either. Hey, do you have Dota?
My high five.
Even though I learned Dota from like the top scene in Singapore, like the competitive players from the top teams in Singapore, they taught me Dota.
Oh yeah?
I could never like.
Damn.
No, maybe I didn't put so many hours into them, but I could never do what they do.
Natapon, you're Asian, you're naturally good at Dota.
Yeah, naturally, yeah.
SLIN, do you have Dota? Do you want to play Dota?
I do have Dota. I do not want to play Dota.
Oh,
Why not? Having fun pubbing, yeah.
I did play try and play Dota yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And I was very bad.
yeah,
I
we're
wasn't
all pretty
streaming.
bad. We're all pretty bad.
You know what I realized is like, because I tried to pick up, you know, any of these games like League of Legends or whatever. It's like putting the 4,000 hours that I put into TF2, but in a different game.
Actually,
Like-
I don't know if Kapow's bad. Sorry if I called you bad. You might be really
No,
good.
it's not that many hours. It's just the amount of time you need to figure out the mechanics. That's all.
Yeah. Well,
So
let me put it another way. Like if I were to play any of those games, like I have a competitive mindset now, so I'd be able to learn it faster. But it is a lot to learn, you know.
Yeah.
And like I have so
No,
much
I agree,
invested
yeah.
into TF2 that I almost don't want to
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same. Like when people are like, oh, you want to come and play Dota? Like, actually, I can't really say that. I was going to say that most of the top people at TF2 aren't really good at Dota, but then I realized pretty much everybody at the top of TF2 is good at Dota.
except for Manny.
it?
I got him the like beta key or whatever because Waka had an extra one, and he was like, because he's never played StarCraft, he's never played League of Legends, never played any strategy game and stuff like that, and he was like the absolute worst player. It was amazing.
Oh,
But he's so
God.
smart. He's so smart in TF2. So.
Yeah.
He was
I
like,
guess, but TF2 isn't really a complex game. Like, it's complex, but it's not really complex in comparison to like StarCraft or.
There's no depth
It's not
to it.
complex. It's not
Kinda
complex, but it's like chess, you know. Chess is
Yeah.
a simple game, but
Yeah.
it's the people that make it complex.
Yeah, it's like
No, what
People-
gives
people
FPS
TF2.
games? Oh, sorry.
no, you go. There you go.
Like like what gives FPS games depth is the aim, whereas like in the other games you don't have aiming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
the aim.
like 2 dimensions to it. Like you've got aim and then you've got game sense, and in StarCraft you've got like hand speed and then you've got game sense. Whereas in games like, you know, Dota and WoW and stuff, it's kind of like there's a set thing that you can do for every situation, and you follow that, and you just use your knowledge of the game to be, you know, to be good.
Exactly. Whereas like in TF2, there's like it's essentially like League of Legends, where it's like there's always skill shots.
Oh, that's true actually. Skill shots. Yeah, I forgot.
Skill shots.
But like skill
Skill
shots is
shots?
so yeah.
Yeah, and there's like movement, you know, all FPS games come with like movement and aim and mechanics.
I don't know. I think people who are really good at TF2 are the people, because like they're the people who can get a complex situation, put it in their mind, and then spit out a simple sort of thing, like a simple solution to a complex thing. And they won't think about it in complex terms. They'll think about it in simple terms, and then figure it out in simple terms. So like, you know, pushing a point with Uber advantage. What do we want to do with our Uber when we've got Uber and they don't? Well, we can go invincible. We can make multiple people invincible, and they're going to be vulnerable. So what do we want to do? We want to do damage to them. We want to try and kill them, and we want to try and use our Uber on as like, you know, a few people, so that, you know, we can have more invincible people, and so we can do more damage than they can do to us, and we can win. Whereas like, you know, with even Ubers, what do you want to do? Okay, well, you want to have one Uber that lasts longer than their Uber because you can both go invincible. Instead of people trying to... that's actually pretty complex, but I don't know. But
That's not really complex. That's just complex
Yeah.
because they're saying it all at the same time.
yeah,
but
exactly.
They
But it's a
don't
pretty
happen all
simple
at the same
thing.
time.
Yeah,
They don't.
yeah,
Mm.
it's a pretty simple thing.
And
I don't know.
I mean, when it comes to gaming, it's always about who has like the better solution faster and can execute that solution better.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, everything is like, you know, it's just an expansion of that or extension of that.
Yeah. I reckon we
I
should...
was so bad at StarCraft.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
I don't
like
have the execution speed.
yeah.
No, it's like okay, you're going zerglings, all right? I'm gonna get some banelings, and then he goes like something else, and I'm like, you keep countering my counter. What do I do?
But then there comes experience and all that, you know, coming into play. Like the more experienced ones that will recognize the situations like quicker,
Yeah.
and will already have like solutions in hand from like history and experience.
Yeah, that's like scrims in TF2. It's like you
Yeah.
just repeat a situation over and over in different little tiny different details until you figure out what's the
Yeah.
best thing to do in that situation with that sort of advantage or disadvantage, and then, you know, after you've done it a bunch of times, you're like, oh, this works and this doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem I have with switching games. Is that like, I know I could do it eventually, but god
Yeah.
damn it.
A lot of trial and error.
With the whole like practicing situation, do you think it's like a good idea to hold weird strats then? Because we found this like hidden spot on process. I don't think you guys have played.
No, AsiaFortress.
Oz, but
Yeah, no, it does. It has.
yeah, okay.
We've got process.
So there's this like weird spot that we found last night in scrims, and like we're not sure if we want to like try it out in scrims to see what it can do, or if we want to just like leave it to match.
Bust it out.
What to do. Yeah.
Well, actually, if you watch the AsiaFortress Grand Finals today, basically both teams were messing up super hard, but they were just throwing such weird shit. Like once they started messing up, it caused a chain reaction, which caused the other team to mess up, and they just kept throwing the weirdest shit at each other, just because it
Yeah.
just because it kept them off guard. I mean,
I don't know.
It was like, did you watch our game versus Madman last season when we rolled them 5-0 on process?
I didn't watch it actually.
Okay, well, like half an hour or an hour, half an hour, I'm not sure, before Techno decided he wanted to figure out a fast rollout on process, and that was like the one thing that won us every mid.
Oh.
He would get there before Unf did, and then go into like the computer room or whatever people call it,
Uh huh.
and he would just like distract them there, and he would end up pulling a couple players back.
Ah, was it the one where you slide or what?
You like slide on everything.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's pretty
I just
standard
know
now,
that-
actually.
Is it? I'm trying to get Frio to learn it. Because I know a lot of teams we've played so far haven't done it.
I don't know. I feel like there's the demo man I played with in open could do it, and Danny definitely does it.
The roamer one.
Oh, there's a roamer
The
one?
one that Techno did, yeah. He gets there before the demo.
I didn't know there's a roamer one. Yeah, never mind.
Like, Techno would get Un's health kit before he was there. And then he would just run around and, like, distract them.
That's crazy. The roamer one's hard because you need to do like the super horizontal jumps. Is Techno still playing for you guys or no?
He quit. I think what happened is he wants to go to school or no wait, he didn't want to finish his degree or something. So he was looking for a job or something. And then he deleted me off his friends list, so I have no idea what's up right now.
No, Kapoww, you're misunderstanding the rollout. So like, if, let's say you're red team and blue team's demo rolls out right side, or your left, you're getting there through the computer room before he gets the health pack. So just fucks him over really hard. Like, you're beating the demo to mid through computer room while he goes around the crate. That's pretty crazy, actually. He's saying that that's not possible unless the demo man fucks up his rollout. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'd have to watch this TV.
I tried to find it. The ESEA took it down or whatever. Do
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what's up with that? Like,
the
season's over and then they don't let you download the demos?
Correct. That's why I have like a folder of like all invite demos since like season 7.
You just download them?
Yeah, I just save them all because I know they're gonna delete them at the end of the season. Sounds kind of ridiculous, I guess, but like, I go back and watch them sometimes.
I don't know, I just know there are some like really old ones that they keep. Like, once I found, I think they still have some of the season 9 ones.
I think it's because it takes up a lot of space, so they just, because think of all the games they cover and like.
Like, they definitely keep the Grand Finals games, and then some of them are like, they keep, I don't know how they select them.
No, Lee, I have class in like an hour.
What is your bitrate on your upload? You're doing 720p on 60
5
FPS.
megs.
Oh, 5 megs. I could never like sustain 5 megs. I don't know why.
It doesn't really. I can't really max out all 5. Like it's likely about like 4. You know what I mean?
Do you use that TCP relay?
Yeah, of course.
Are you on XSplit
Mhm.
or FF? Which program do you use?
I use XSplit, just a screen capture. I don't even use the game, whatever game thingy.
Man, I'm trying to get my stream to be as smooth as yours.
Yeah, mine and TLR had like the best 2 looking, I think.
Yeah.
You're forgetting Natapon's Asian internet.
I
Yeah,
thought
but
Tyler had a really bad computer.
Oh, but he does have a secondary computer to stream, right?
No, he just has a capture card. I don't use a capture card though. I just use it in my rig.
What's a capture card?
So you can buy a secondary video card that's specifically designed for capturing what's on your screen and outputting it somewhere.
I'll be right back.
And they're
Take
cheaper.
a shower, then we'll continue this.
So like, if you have a good computer, you really don't need that, do you? Can't you just get your normal graphics card? Like, unless you're running like a really graphics intensive game, then like TF2 on my graphics.
The TF2 is a super processor heavy game.
Yeah. Well, on DX8 it is, and on DX9 it's kind of like both, isn't it? That's what I've heard anyway.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know much about computers, but like,
yeah, no. I guess that makes sense.
I built my computer in like May, and I bought like all the best stuff I could.
Yeah. Is it like 590 or something, or?
It's a 580.
Ah, okay.
The 680 was released, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Like, it was sold out everywhere.
Yeah, I'm
And I was
getting a
really
new computer
super
pretty
sad.
soon. I sold my unusual, which is a Scorching Tyrants for like 10 bahts, and I had like 2, so just gonna sell all my earbuds, like 12 earbuds, and get like $360 out of that, and I've already got like $1,000 in the bank.
Oh,
And,
hell yeah.
next paycheck I get from the government, because I get free money from the government because I'm a student for some reason. When I get my next paycheck, I'm just gonna go out and get a new computer because this one fucking sucks.
That's sick.
In the government.
While you're doing it, just get good internet and then start streaming.
That's true, but like, because on this PC, even with like a graphic config and like low resolution and like, you know, as optimized as I can get, I still get FPS lag, even in 66.
Have you seen Giggly stream?
Yeah, that's pretty epic.
I
It's
opened
really
it
good.
once and I like lost my shit.
No, I watched it like.
It's like a
I watched it,
blob.
Like, the first day, there was like this one day when he decided he wanted to stream or something, and it was like, I think he's up to his quality or something, but like at this point it was just like.
No, I watched it too. Yeah, it was literally.
And,
Pixels
and
on
you
the
couldn't see
screen.
anything, and then like.
It was
just
worse
know
than
the enemies
8-bit.
were, like the blue pixel that was moving around.
Yeah. But you could tell he was on like Badlands. And it was even worse when it was like full screen, because like it just made the blobs bigger. Yeah.
It was like you knew where he was because you played the game, but you didn't know what he was doing or what he was shooting.
But you could like hear his narration of it. It was like a podcast. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. The kid's so funny though.
I don't understand that guy. He seems like the videos he uploads. I don't know him as a person, but just the videos he uploads are fucking hilarious. But,
Yeah.
like that EXTV video, like
With
nobody
him
would
with the
ever
sideburns.
Consider making that, but he just made it. He's put the sideburns.
He's just a funny kid. Did you see the one where he makes a he does a
The salad.
the salad? Yes.
He like gets the wine. He's like,
No.
need rotate, need rotate.
And then, like, I don't know how he does it, but like every video he makes is funny. Like it's not like hit or miss. It's like every one
Yeah.
is a hit.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Or do you see his skill enhancer? That's the classic though.
Oh, this is what I was gonna ask. What is skill detector? Like, what is that?
So on our forums we have a guy named Skill Detector. He's basically just an alt account that he doesn't want anyone to know who he is. And but he knows everybody in the community somehow. Okay? So it's obviously someone who knows everybody, but someone who like it's not so obvious that he knows, you know what I mean? Like it's not so obvious like he's like a caster or something, like you know it's him, you know what I mean? And he's got a little bit of like a attitude. So he like rates you, but like he just gives you like sass about like your play. But it's like super accurate too, just because he knows you so well somehow. I don't know how he does it. He's like, he'll tell you things about your like details about your play as if he scrims you, but he, like no one specs your scrims, and you know what I mean? Like it's just creepy. So he like detects your skill and like gives you a rating out of 10.
It's probably Mustard Overlord.
That's the thing though. Like okay, Mustard Overlord used to keep a spreadsheet on all the players in the game. But even Mustard Overlord is not that snappy. And he like Skill Detector has like really accurate skill detecting of like high level players too. So it can't be someone low level, you know what I mean? Cuz like if it's someone low level, they wouldn't be that knowledgeable about high level players, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, why would a high level player know so much information about open players?
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. And
Yeah.
the original skill detector was Valen, but now there's a new skill detector.
Is he back in the game yet?
Valen?
He's trying to come back. Yeah, Valen.
No,
he's
no,
trying
no.
to, like,
He's full Highlander now. And I recently got him into surfing, so now he just surfs and plays Highlander.
Can't like Enigma or something just check skill detector's IP and then match it with like?
I mean, but he doesn't want to ruin the fun either.
Ah, okay.
That's the fun of it. Like, if you knew who it was, it wouldn't be as fun.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like how his name's like a completely different color to everybody else.
Yeah. Because Enigma
Have
made
you gotten
him.
detected yet?
Whenever the thread goes up, like, he rates you in order of like how soon you post, right? And like by the time I see the
Yeah.
thread, it's like 4 pages long. And I'm like, I don't have a chance of getting rated. You know what I mean?
Wait, so
And
he like
it's always
does it?
like,
So he does a thread where he just like rates
He'll
someone
like,
in the thread.
he'll be like, it's time
Rates
to rate
people
skill. Yeah, you should just look it up, and then like, he'll do like the first like 20 people, and then after that he gets like tired or something, and he just stops doing
he
it.
gets tired or bored. And then
Yeah,
he's like, I'm
no,
gonna do this like every month. I'll do like 20.
But it's always the first 20 who see it, so it's like people who are always on the forum get it first.
Yeah, it's the same people who get rated like over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
That's dumb. The same people do. That's pretty dumb.
It's kind of first come first serve. It kind of makes sense that way. Because you have to
But it's
ask
the
for
same
it, otherwise it's
people
not gonna
over.
just rate you out of nowhere, you know.
Yeah.
There's another guy who always watches my stream named That Cacti, and he's also very snappy too, and always makes fun of me. And it's like it's got to be someone somewhat decent, because like from what he's told me, he's been around the community a while. But also it's got to be someone who doesn't play a lot, because he's always watching streams. So who the hell could it be? Some retired player who
It's
watches
probably like
streams.
Defy.
It can't be Defy. Defy's always playing. Like
That
Like
double
he's
monitor
the guy is
man.
watching my stream as I'm playing against Defy. That doesn't make any sense.
Like,
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
I don't know. That is strange to say the least.
I don't upload VODs because there was too many of them and it was bulky, so I just upload highlights to YouTube. That's about it.
Do you stream 720p 60 FPS?
Mission begins
Yeah, all the
in
time.
10 seconds.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. That's why it's so smooth. Natapon, you there? Is he there? I think he's
Yeah.
showering.
3,
Is that what 60 FPS says?
So it basically, like if you're 30 FPS stream, it looks like a 60 Hz monitor.
Yeah.
And if you're a 60 FPS stream, it looks like it's 120 Hz. So
Okay.
people
this,
with
the
six-
stream is like smoother than my game.
I know, that's what people say. Are you on a 60 Hz monitor?
Yeah.
I'm on
Yeah,
120.
I don't have money for the 120, man.
It's like
Yeah,
$100 if you can scrape it together.
No. The problem was that I ended up buying a second monitor instead of a 120 hertz. So it was like a couple months after that when I was like, should I buy 120 hertz? And it's like I already bought a second monitor.
I can't imagine playing video games on a 60 Hz monitor ever again in my life.
Yeah. Well, I played for 3 years on a laptop, and then when I made my computer, I'm like, dude, I'm going all out. Like, so I had to get the monitor. I bought it from Valen actually. He sold it to me at LAN.
Huh. What
Uh,
then? Like,
It
have you
was
ever
like a
tried
local Sacramento LAN.
Oh, okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
He sold
we
it to
don't
me
have-
cheap too. So
We do have like some lands over here in Oz, but they're not like.
yeah. No, this
They're
LAN
not-
was bigger
they're
than
not like
ESEA.
ESEA.
We had like 40 people.
Ah. Yeah, no, it's usually like. The city's really spread out here, so it's usually like this one city will have a LAN and there'll be like 10 TF2 teams there, and most of them will be low level, and there's always just one team stacked with like Div 1 players that'll just rate the whole thing.
Hey, can you explain to me Griever TV? Cause like, look, I have more people watching my stream right now than people who are watching like AsiaFortress on Griever's stream.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Why doesn't he just stream as part of X Television, or does he want to do his own thing?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he just wants to do his own thing. I guess it makes sense. I mean, I don't know. EXTV sort of do America, and then Vanilla TV kind of do Europe, and then Australia. It's nowhere near as big as either of those two comps, and that's true. But like, there's no really like big sort of name logo thing that you see in terms of casting related to Oz TF2. Like, there used to kind of be GameStar, but it's always, in Australia, it's always been like GameStar. There's been NetGamer Radio. I think that's it actually. Groove used to be part of GameStar, and then I think he split off. But GameStar and NetGame Radio aren't around anymore, and so Groover just kind of made his own thing. Nobody else has taken the time or effort to be like, hey, I want to shoutcast TF2, and so Groover's just taken the initiative. And like, Groover's like, I don't know how it is like over there in America. I'm pretty sure in Europe they have a little bit of this, but Groover's kind of a low level player.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And he's still like cast, but the good thing is that he will always get someone who knows what they're talking about in the cast with him. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
That's
I'm pretty
like,
sure X-Time's the same.
That's like Salamancer for us.
Yeah. So
Like he's really popular and everyone likes him,
Yeah.
He doesn't know that
You
much
just
about
need
it.
the
Yeah.
charisma. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Griever has the charisma of Salamander at all. Like, I just heard Salamander talk once and I was like, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, like, it's good that there is somebody who out there in Australia who has been, like, you know, just taking the initiative and been like, hey, I need a cast.
That's cool.
Griever is very good at the methodical things, like, you know, mechanical.
Yo, SLIN, who do you think's gonna take over the Sea Bear DJC legacy?
Wait, what
Dude,
happened to them? What
no
happened to
caster
Seagull
can
and
ever. Oh, go.
Right. Well, like they after this season, like after this land, I don't think they want to cast anymore.
No.
What? Serious?
The thing is, Seabear is a legend. Like,
Yeah,
no
even I
caster
listened to
can
that
ever
caster.
match him. Like, he's just so good. Like
Even I
well,
listen to them.
okay, but to be fair though, Kapoww, Seabear would like disappear. Like, he disappeared for a couple seasons, right? And then they brought
Yeah.
him back to cast land, and then he kind of got back into it because of that. You know? So like,
Yeah,
I'd be perfectly happy if he just came out like once every season.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
just for land.
Yeah, just for land. Just because you need him. He'd do it too. He'd come out for land.
2, 1.
Yeah, just for land.
Because he was out
That's
a
enough.
couple seasons before, like even, and now they brought him back for like random invite matches, or just because he's doing it for fun. I don't know what he's doing. Because he
think
likes
that's- yeah.
Salamander or something.
Yeah, you don't want to burn him out like throughout the entire season, and then
Yeah, and now he doesn't want to do it. Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah, that sucks.
Who's
But
that cacti? I want to know who this is now.
See, I'm dying to know.
I think like a really important thing. I don't know if X-Tine or Salamander already do this, but I think a really important thing is like you don't actually need like a constant co-caster, but I think it's important for like Salamander or X-Tine when they cast to get an invite player in there to cast with them, so they can
Right.
do the shoutcasting and they can do what they're best at, which is like, you know, sort of calling play-by-play sort of thing, like this player's dead and this player's dead, and you know, casting the action, there's so much stuff happening, getting the new players involved. But then you sort of need the more analytical caster there, like No Mercy is to Griever, who can sort of explain why
Well-
whatever happened.
I thought about
Yeah.
that, and I mean it's true. When you look at ESPN, like they'll have some ex-NFL player in an NFL game, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, they never go that in-depth in the strategy. And I think that's the problem that TF2 has. Like, we go too in-depth on the strategy and no one really cares.
Yeah, that's kind of
Like, you can
That's
boil it,
wrong.
you can boil it down for them, but like at the end of the day, like you don't need to go that in-depth. You just need to be like, wow, it was a great push, and that's all you need to say.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
the credibility of being an ex-invite player is enough.
Yeah.
But, like, we go so like, and same thing with StarCraft. I was watching a StarCraft match, and I don't know shit about StarCraft. But like, they're talking to me about like the strategy of it. I'm like, I don't really care. I just happy to see like two armies fighting each other, you know?
yeah.
So like, I don't know. I thought about it sometime. Like, you need the analysis, but at the same time, you totally don't. Like, you can watch baseball and not know what's going on, but when the guy hits a home run's a home run. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like,
a
capping
crit,
the
a
last
crit
point is
sticky who
capping the
hits
last point.
exactly. A crit sticky hits 4 players is like, what else do you need to say? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but in TF2 it's a bit different, right? In StarCraft, like, you know, when these things happen, like when the casters talk about specific things, like they're not immediately like, what do you call that? How do you put it? Not immediately like, you don't recognize it immediately.
Uh huh.
Whereas in TF2, like you see things happen, like if someone shoots somebody, like it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
In StarCraft, it's not so obvious.
What about, okay, compared to like NFL then, like when the guy throws like a really long pass, like a long pass is a long pass. Or soccer or something, you know, like a goal. Even a good, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the over-analysis, like taking out the fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, but sometimes I feel as if when I'm, I don't know, maybe it's just high-level players circle joking about the fucking strategy of a video game, but I think
Yeah.
listening to good players talking about why something happened, it can be really helpful. Like, for instance, like, whenever Yuki does, like, casting with Griever, like, I remember when I was in Fray, Boat would say, you know, Boat is another high-level Oz TF2 player who's been in a whole bunch of really, really good clans, and he was in Mad Dogs, who you've probably heard of. But I remember, like, you know, he always gives really good advice, and he's really good at getting people good at TF2. That's pretty much as simply as I can put it. And I remember, like, when I was in Fray, you know, he would always say, if Yuki casted, like, with Griever, go listen, and go listen to what Yuki has to say about analyzing the game. And I think that's really good, like to get somebody good in there talking about the analytical side of TF2, so that people who aren't exactly as good as them can kind of like get a peek into why they're good at TF2 and why they can understand why a situation was good and why it was bad, and they can be like, you know, they can try, you know, taking that into their own game or learning how to think about the game as opposed to like, the really common sort of thing in TF2, which is people in around the middle level who have very good potential to get to the high level, but they don't know how to think about a situation, so they just know that it works, but they don't know why it works and how they can apply that thinking to a new situation type of thing.
Yeah,
Which is why
It's kinda like,
I think Sal like had a very good balance right there. Like he does a little bit of analysis, but he explains it in layman terms, like you know, and he does like the entertainment bit too, you know,
Yeah.
the color casting. So he strikes a very fine balance between the two, and he can. I think he's one of the few that can really solo cast and do both.
Yeah, but I think the difference between Salamancer and getting someone really good in is like credentials. Like, even if he is right, you can't know if he's right because he hasn't
Okay.
shown it in a game.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why, yeah, that's basically it. But
my
although
goal.
you
This
do have a
is
good
like-
point though. Haha, yes. I'll get there. Come on, my
Yeah,
goal is to
and-
eventually make invite.
What were you gonna say,
see
Slim?
you there, see you
But-
there.
I was just gonna say like it gives people an appreciation for the game, so I think it's you know that's a really good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And gives the caster like credibility. I think. You know,
But I think you
he
don't
is
need to,
proven
like-
to be.
You don't need to say it in order for people to have the credibility. You
Mm.
just need to say John McEnroe, pro, ex-pro, tennis star, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guy's hilarious because he just yells and like he's got a lot of personality and
Oh yeah, we haven't had any like caster that does that yet, right? In TF2, like that yells. You know,
Oh,
the-
this chick.
But we do.
Did
Apparently, they all
anyone-
got banned from AsiaFortress.
Did anyone jinx?
No, I was watching it that bad. It was only
I'm
if
just
you're
kidding.
talking about people getting banned, yeah, they don't like it even when like maybe I overstated it. It's not like that anymore. The people who got banned deserve to be banned from AsiaFortress. Like Rep,
Oh.
Yuri, they deserve to get banned. It's not like the admins were being fucking Nazis and they were like ban all the good players. It was kind of like Yuri would like, you know, Yuri and Rep would like be really like massive dicks to the admins and they deserve to get banned. Like, and I'm you know, I don't mind Yuri. Like, I wouldn't say I'm really good friends with him or anything, but you know, I don't mind him and he doesn't mind me. But you know, I'm just going to be honest and say that you know he was a dick to the admins and he kind of deserved to be banned. Same with Rep, same with Ika.
Hmm.
Baiting
Anyway,
the
I'm
other
sorry.
side. Pretty.
Sorry, you keep going. Just, I didn't want to make it seem as if I said that the admins were abusing admin or something.
No, it's cool.
Because I'm pretty sure that's what Byte's done with Europe and America. He's kind of like, he's been fed the wrong information from the wrong people concerning AsiaFortress, and now, you know, he's got this opinion of AsiaFortress, which is, you know, he feels as if the people who've been banned in the past and stuff like that have been treated unfairly, and you know, he feels as if like, anyway, he's sort of spreading all this, you know, bad information that he's heard from the wrong sort of people around, and it's not very good. Like AsiaFortress is really, you know, it's solid and legitimate. Like they're not.
It is great fun too. Like they do very well, like to keep everything going smoothly.
Yeah. Anyway, we're kind of getting off track. We were talking about something. And I forget.
Casting. We're talking about
Yeah.
casting.
Talking about casting, whether or not the analysis is necessary.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think is a good balance then? Like, how much analysis is necessary for like boring
Hmm.
the audience, but also
Yeah.
Well,
giving them
anyone
an
heard
appreciation for
Yukari
the
cast?
game?
Anyone heard Yukari cast? Yukari?
Oh god, I can't imagine that. That guy never fucking shuts up in mumble alone, let alone him
Yeah,
casting.
but he himself is entertaining, man. Just listening to his analysis and then making the analysis entertaining.
Hmm.
Yeah, Yukari is.
He's just one of a kind, man.
He is the smartest guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact that he's mega noticeably autistic and that he's like, you know, never shuts up. What he said is right all the time, and he's really smart. He was like a top StarCraft player as well, as far as I know.
Yeah, which is why I think a lot of people like, you know, kind of like give him a lot of like
Yeah,
flack.
respect. Yeah. Oh.
It's respect and flack at the same time. Like people find him annoying, that's why they give him like flack. But he is
Yeah.
like so smart. So
Yeah, he's like a savant. That's what he said to me. He said he was a mathematical savant. Like,
he's Russian.
He said
so-
that.
Yukari. He's like
He is cold and calculated and
I want to say he's like the mustard overlord of Australia, but there's
Oh,
no way
no,
that there's no way that
no.
I'd ever let that happen because he's a lot better than mustard overlord. He's a lot like he knows
I
more.
love Yukari.
So do I.
love
Like
Yukari.
he knows more about TF2. Everybody loves like who he is, but he knows who everybody is, and he knows everything about everything in the community.
I think as Mustard got better, I think
He's gotten better.
I think he had. I just never talked to him in like the longest time.
He's definitely gotten better. And like he's well rounded. He plays pocket now. So he used to main demo.
I remember.
But no one's gonna ever give him that credibility.
Right.
You wouldn't say he's a
that
good.
one time when he was like, he just talked about the game and he didn't know anything about. But like there was this. I just remember this one time where he would like tell me that he played like me or something, but like I was under a different name. And he just kept asking for heals, and I was like, what?
Huh. So you were on a Smurf account.
No, I just had a different name. I was just using
Smurf account. Don't you all love that?
Steve Smurf account.
Hey, do you mind if I close that?
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
Is it too dark here? Alright.
So fun listening to Yukari cast. Like, he casted for AsiaFortress in season 5 with Spammer. And like, that was like one of the most entertaining cast like seasons yet. And,
How did he like the Asian scene compared to the North American scene?
we're a lot more fun, I think. Like a lot less serious.
Look at chat. This is what I just said to it.
What was that?
It's what this Yukari.
Wait, Yukari's listening?
No, I just told him that I called him the Australian mustard overlord. He's like, all I can say is get off my friends list.
I think it's funny that like other players in other places know of players in our scene. Like we're worlds away from you guys, but at the same time you know who Mustard Overlord is. Yeah, like his reputation precedes him.
Who is Mustard Overlord?
See, like you don't know, but you know who he is.
Who?
Yukari's really angry at me right now.
What?
Yeah, because you compared him to Mustard Overlord and he's disgusted right now.
That's hilarious.
Read that.
Oh, a little bit of plugging here from my stream. Alright, I'm at 198,532 views, and at 200,000 views, I will be giving away a Plantronics Gamecom 380. Yes, I won this from ESEA almost 9 months ago.
So it's ready to be born.
It stayed in its original packaging. Shipped directly from Craig himself. So
Is that the 365? Or what is that?
380. And also, fun fact, Banny uses a Gamecom. So if you want to be like Banny, you could
I think I used the 365 and it just like died up.
Oh really? Well,
I think
this is
so.
15 higher than a 365.
Okay, alright. It's 15 times longer.
When did this come out? Like this model?
I have no idea. I got it for free, but I already have the one on my head that I use the same one you use, so I didn't need another
Oh,
headphone.
Ninja
Yeah.
DC. Oh no, it's Cacti. Cacti says Danny does not use a Gamecom.
He did use a
Right.
Well, I wouldn't know.
No, he uses he uses
He did use a
ATs.
He did use a Gamecom 9 months ago when I asked him what he used. Okay.
Audio tech. No, he
Cacti
uses
uses-
Maybe he changed his.
he uses audio tech, I think.
Oh well, he must have changed.
The
it.
red ones. It's the same one as Yuki.
And Tyrone uses it too.
Yukari.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, it's a really good soundstage. But enough about headphones.
Where did Yukari at?
Yukari asked,
He changed it 8
Kapoww
months ago.
actually a girl or is that trolling?
I'm a girl. I'm a girl.
Kapoww, you and I have to figure out who that cacti is. You know, that cacti will message me at random times and then tell me about things he read on NATF2. And then I will check the NATF2 user list. And I've taken multiple screenshops.
there? Is he
I've
not
cross-checked them with each other. What? to try and figure out who it is.
You're trying so hard to find out.
I am dying to know who that cacti will be like, dude, add up to the pug, and I'll go to the pug, and then I'll cross-check
Well,
that with the
would you-
list.
no,
But of
would you-
course,
Would you give him your game com, like just to tell, just for him to tell you who he
just
is?
just for him to give me his address, so I have to ship it to him. You give me like a PO box out in the middle of nowhere, and then forward it to a different address. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, so he tells me like add up to the pug, and then I'll play the pug, and then he'll be typing to me in the middle of the pug, so I can't tell if he's
But
like
he's not there. But he's not playing.
I can't tell. That's what I'm saying, man. Like he's good. He covers his tracks.
He just has 2 Steam accounts.
He knows, man.
He just has 2 windows open with the pug. One that's just like added in there watching.
Or run multiple virtual machines and
I
have
don't
like
know.
have your own conversation or conference amongst all your Smurfing.
Yeah, he's 2 Twitch TV accounts maybe. He's got 2 different IPs.
Wow. That is elaborate.
Yeah, maybe Lips is right. Maybe I'm just a bad detective. I thought I was getting pretty complex. I was using the word cross-check.
Ah, throwing down big words doesn't mean.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yukari linked me
Yeah, what do you think?
one of his casting.
Ah, which one? MG versus LSD?
No,
MG versus
depopulation
RNR?
versus RNR.
Oh, that, yeah. It's on the Gaming 420 stream, right?
No,
On Twitch?
QR Kang.
Oh, that's
XQR
mine.
Kang.
That's mine. It's on
He
my YouTube.
linked me that and he said, all you need to know, this is
About-
all you need to understand about my casting, and then he just linked me that.
Mr. Novelor?
No, this is Yukari.
Did he give you the 51 minutes 40 seconds?
Yeah.
Cause it's so funny. Yeah, everyone must watch this. Like, this is like analytical. Oh, my tongue's tied. Like analytical. What do you call that? Color casting. It's a mix of both.
SLIN, are you coming back next season then?
Oh yeah. I
Done
I
Guild
was
Wars?
I almost made a team for intermediate this season, but then I
But
ditched
Guild
them.
Wars came out.
No, I ditched them to try out for Pinball Wizards. And then they tried me out for 3 days, and I told Panic, I was like, dude, you have to give me an answer by Monday because that'll give me a week before the registration deadline. And he said, no man, this is the same thing that happened when I tried out for Quantic. And then, so he kept me waiting up until the last day. And then Sunday, he told me that he didn't want to pick me up. At that point, I was screwed.
Seems to be like the most unreliable player.
I got screwed,
some
dude.
reason.
I got screwed so hard, and then I had to sit out basically 3 months wasted, basically.
I just see Panic like always jump.
Can't you join join mid-season? Is
Uh,
that possible?
It locks by playoffs or something.
Well, you can join mid-season, but the medic class is like one of those like core classes that people don't replace
Yeah.
very often.
You don't want to try to switch.
Yeah. So I'm just in a really shit spot. I could have made the team we were gonna make 2 weeks before registration deadline was me, Eulogy on Pocket, Jake Rockwell on demo,
Alright.
Fife and Jav on
okay.
Scout.
Cacti is an invite player. He has an invite roster.
Does he now?
So
And he
so
knows
who
Banny
is it?
has a headset, and he knows how often Banny
And-
changes his headset.
Yeah, and he said no. He said he would know if Banny, right?
So does that
he's
mean
close
it's
to
his
Banny.
team? Okay.
Close to Vandy, has an invite roster.
Well, yeah, but he could be just bullshitting.
Nah, I trust this guy. His name's a Cacti. He's a Cacti.
Okay, and also there's a Smurf of that cacti, which is that cacti. So it's gotten to the point where there's a dat cacti and a that cacti on my stream. I don't know who the fuck these people are, but I'm dying to know. I'm like dying to know.
More and more cacti coming up.
Wait.
Right, so he's not the same person as that Cacti. So there's someone trolling you.
So there's that cacti and then that cacti?
That cacti is trolling that cacti.
Who's trolling you?
Who's trolling me? Who's close to banning.
I can't see that cacti in here. Is he a moderator? No, he's
Dude,
not even in here.
It couldn't, that cacti could not be Banny, because Banny would not type in my stream in a pug against Banny. Like, Banny takes pugs way too seriously.
Have
To
you
be
given
type-
a list cross-check?
No, he just doesn't, Banny doesn't even check his own stream chat, man. I don't even know if he has 2 screens. I don't know if Banny does.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Also, Kapoww, do you play on 4x3?
No. I think it's 69.
Why do you think all the, like these Sean Bud, Banny, Clockwork, all play on 4x3?
Is there an FOV difference? I don't.
Maybe. I think
there is a FOV difference, but I think they might be
I
used to
think
like
it's just
CRTs.
like if you have. That might be it. If you're playing on a CRT 120 Hz, because it's cheaper than buying a normal $300 CRT,
yeah.
or not CRT, 120 Hz.
I mean, the change
That
is
might be-
definitely visible from widescreen to.
Yeah.
And you are also a hit scan class. I noticed a lot of 4x3 players, besides Relic, are like scout players, if I remember correctly. I don't remember seeing like other soldiers or demo man or medic playing 4x3.
I don't think there's like that big of a difference. Like if you get used to something, then you'll be fine.
Sean Bud does
4x
play on 4x3 because if you ever watch his stream, if the quality changer says 600, that means it's 4x3. And Sean Bud has black bars on the sides of his screen.
Navi versus VP is on right now.
Ooh,
Pretty much. Just to watch.
that's a big one. My favorite is
Havost's missing.
who?
Havost?
Yeah, I don't follow Dota. Shit.
Oh.
I was trying to pretend like I do, but like I don't.
Ah. You're like, oh, that's a big one.
I have followed Dota.
No, I know
but
Navi won the
Who's
first
playing for-
invite thing.
Right, it's international.
International, whatever. The $1 million. That's all that
Yeah.
matters.
It's CO2. It's Dota 2 invite.
Yeah, international, yeah. I watched the grand final. How cool was the grand final? Just like the